What's up, guys? This is day 15, back in the gym. So, yeah, I talked a lot about just other stuff in my life, and I guess today I'll just stick to, stick to arm wrestling, stick to my workout. So I start off with some shoulder warm-ups with well, yeah, you see the exercise I'm doing? It's the external rotation. Um, I'm starting to question whether or not these are good for me as a warm-up, because I don't know, I wanted to do some dumbbell shoulder presses after this, but my shoulders felt really weird, and I just got this weird like click 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 on the negative, and it just felt really awkward, and just it was just weird. Like, it was painful, but not in the way that you usually get muscle soreness. It was just more like, yeah, I think I was just more feeling it like through the back of my shoulder where I was doing these like probably from these exercises, and I wasn't really able to do them, so I ended up doing some hammer curl, bicep curl stuff. But yeah, king of the table too. Honestly, it was a pretty good event. Like, the audio quality really needs a lot of work. Again, it's maybe it's a budget thing, but they really should have flown out Neil, Michael Todd. They should have been in the studio or wherever in the gym. And the athletes mic'd up, it was good, but the sound quality was just so horrendous. And it would have been epic if you could hear it with good quality, but whenever Genadi was screaming and stuff, it just sounded like a fucking like, I don't know, like the speaker was having a fucking seizure or something. So that wasn't the best, but overall, I think definitely some improvements from last time. Like, I remember last time the scorekeeping guy didn't know what the fuck was going on, and they kept messing up the scores. Less of that, also less foul calling from the refs. A lot less. Maybe too much. I thought they let him get away with a lot. And also, I don't like. I really didn't like Sergio as a ref last time. But this time it just seemed like he was there and he didn't really do anything and just stood there, which is honestly, I don't have a problem with that. It's okay. Probably be better if he does that. But yeah, turns out I was wrong about Ermes versus Genadi. Ermes won me some money. I think I thought I bet $20, but it was actually 30, and I ended up with $50 or something, or I'm not sure. Maybe I bet 40. I don't know how the math works, but yeah, it was a surprise. I genuinely thought Genadi would be way too strong. I thought he would come forward and jam, but he just sort of dragged back into this dragging pronation stop, but he was completely palm up, and it looked strong. Like, he would have what he did was definitely a strong stop, but Ermes is world class, and it wasn't gonna work. So yeah, honestly, it was weird, because I know even though I bet money on Ermes, the Genadi just won me over so much. I really wanted him to win. He's such a cool guy, just such a charismatic guy, and I don't know, it just seemed like when you see someone that you feel like they really, really, really want something, it's so hard not to cheer for them. But anyways, Genadi got smashed. Oh, here, yeah. So I'm doing the shoulder press, and it feels so weird. Like, it's like, because I feel when you're trying to do an exercise, if I'm doing a dumbbell shoulder press, I want to feel, like, I want to feel it in my shoulders. But here it was just, like I said, I was feeling in the back of my shoulder, and then it was just feeling click, 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 click when it was coming down. So not pleasant. So I went from the 35s or 30s, I think, to like 10 pounds to just see like what was wrong, and it still felt like shit. So I just decided I'm not doing this today. And then you'll see me going to the bicep curls. And I'm not gonna do full range curls anymore, probably like at all, because I think there's no need when it comes to arm wrestling. And yeah, I feel like when I'm doing these, there's a natural sort of lock where once I get past that point, I feel like I'm losing a significant amount of strength, whereas like when I'm in that range, I feel roughly the same amount of power. So it was pretty easy for me to figure out that range of motion. I'm just going to stick to this. And yeah, I also think there actually is a big difference between your hammer curl strength and your supinated bicep strength, because there's different muscles involved and everything. So yeah, I think I'm going to be focusing a lot more on hammer curl strength, especially because I want to be a good top roller, and it seems like what happens is like, I mean, a lot of times it's just straight up like my arm will open up from like pronated position because my biceps are weak. But also what happens, I feel like what's realistically going to happen is I set up for a top roll, I don't fully get it, but I don't get fully supinated either, so I'm sort of halfway, and I managed to get some cup on the guy. So we're both like sort of halfway, like not fully cupped, not fully pronated or supinated, and like it's an even position. But from there, I feel to basically have an offense, like you need a bicep strength from that position, and it just felt like empty. Like I felt no connection, because I feel bicep strength either when I'm super tight or yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? Or either like when I'm fully supinated inside, or I guess when I'm tight in a top roll. But sort of that in between, I just felt like I had nothing there. So what happens is I sort of bunch up and just start driving with my joint, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but I want to be a better, like, I want to be able to use more muscle when I'm arm wrestling, and ultimately my joints aren't that strong, and I think like right now it's a lot more efficient for me to pursue that back pressure strength instead of just going like side pressure with my joints. But anyways, well, Larry versus Brandon Allen, I was also wrong. I really wanted Larry to win. I really like Brandon as well. He seems like a super he's got a great personality, like super entertaining to listen to. He was like a chill guy. But like just Larry like put in so much for the sport, and like I said, I've been watching him even before I started watching arm wrestling, so I was really cheering for him. But man, it was unfortunate. Round 1, when he got that King's Boot stop, and I thought the pin was called a little prematurely, I sort of could see it coming. Like, I sort of could see that Larry was fucked, and Brandon's King's move looked pretty good. Like, he didn't go below the table. Like, very good adjustments. Like, he seemed, I don't know how he pulls that off as a beginner, but honestly very impressive, and just love seeing his confidence coming up for the press and everything, and yeah, I could see that Larry was significantly weaker after round 1. Round 2, I think, like, by round 3, like, Brandon was almost, like, well, I think round 4, Brandon was starting to just press him off the go. And, yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I was saying about Chan Shaw, right? Like, Larry's strong in a hook, but, I mean, like, if you really watch that practice match again, Larry's going full red line, trying to pin him, and Chance is still holding him. And what likely would have happened if they had a real match, hook only or whatever, Larry would have lost 6-0 or 1 or 5-1, right? So, or that's what I think. And I mean, it was unfortunate, but I think, like, Larry's the type of guy who, because I think there's, like, different types of mental strength. Some people, I say, like, normally you think it's bad to not care about a loss, because being competitive, people assume that, you know, you're devastated when you lose, and you're just, you know, high as shit when you win, which I think is generally true. But I think there's also mental strength in being stoic and being able to take a loss, and I think Larry's definitely that type of guy. And like I said, he's not going to quit the sport and anything, so that's good. I mean, there's no doubt there's huge improvements. But yeah, I mean, super match arm wrestling is a different game. I think I like it. I think it does equalize things a little bit more. It makes for more entertaining matches. Although I think, I don't know. I don't like the fact that arm wrestling has become like the UFC, where, well, I love, like, I see the future of arm wrestling as being like the UFC, but not in terms of sort of the frequency and weight of each match, because, like, Coach Ray is always talking about, you know, it's an arm wrestling match. It's not a UFC fight. You don't have to have a fight once a year, twice a year. You can arm wrestle a guy and then arm wrestle him again, like. And I think this whole idea of, like, oh, I need to get on, like, pancakes or whatever, like 3 to 6 months prep for a match, I just think that's so much missed opportunity. And because I feel the whole point of arm wrestling is you can just walk up to a table, grip up with a guy, and just go, right? And it's not that I haven't considered the idea of, like, well, you need to properly rest and train yourself all this, right? Of course you do, but the idea that, like, because the whole thing about Devon and this whole, like, debate around Devon is, you know, he only competes, you know, a couple times a year, you know, big super match or big, like, WAL tournaments. I guess he's been to WAL tournaments, he always talks about, but just the whole idea that you're saving yourself for, like, 1 or 2 showings a year, you know, like, it's up to the individual. Like, if you feel like doing that, that's fine, but I think for the sport to move forward, I think you need to be able to tap into the uniqueness of arm wrestling, and that it's a fight sport, but it also, like, is not as physically, like, destructive as literally, like, an MMA fight. And I think you can definitely put on more events. You can have more matches. Like, Devon should be pulling, I think, at least 4 times a year, in a world where arm wrestling is mainstream, of course. Right now, he can do whatever he wants. But, anyways, what else was I going to say? Super match. Well, yeah, I guess I'll talk about Devon versus John. Man, I really, really, really wanted John to win. And it's not that I'm a hater of Devon. Like, Devon is a guy who brought me into the sport. Like, I was a huge Devon fan. I don't know. I just feel like, honestly, some of his fans just turn me off because like, I like arm wrestling more than I like Devon, and I feel like if it's the other way around, it's just really annoying, and some of them just have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. But anyways, Oh man, the nerves were crazy. Like I don't think I've been so nervous watching a sporting event in a long time. My heart was actually beating before the first go during the first match. I don't know why I was so invested. I guess I really bought into that whole storyline of John, and I just really wanted that him to pull off the upset. But he's definitely strong on round one. I don't think anyone doubted that. I don't think anyone thought he was weak. We all knew he was strong, but obviously, like I said, they're not on the same level. And after round one, I think John was a lot weaker, probably significant drop off, especially because of his age, probably his arm was probably just blown up after round one, and significant drop off in strength after that. But even round one, like, it was close. Like, he did get close to the pin line, but I don't think Devon was anywhere near like I think Devon was still in control. But yeah, I mean, I guess it sort of went as well as it could for John, while still like being in the realm of reality. Because honestly, like, it wouldn't have made any sense for John to have pulled something off. And yeah, I mean, I was kind of pissed off after John lost. I don't know why I got so invested in that. But I really, really wanted John to win that. But I guess that's fine. I don't know. I guess, like, this whole thing of, like, Battle of the GOATs. I mean, Devon is not the GOAT, right? And neither is he LeBron James, because some people say it's like LeBron versus Jordan. And I love Devon. I just think some of these things are ridiculous. But anyways, oh man, the video's already over. So yeah, it was a great event. I hope we see a bunch more. I mean, we'll see what the PPV sales are like. Hopefully it's more than the first one, but I doubt it, because I think that there's a lot more hype, but it was in more like closed circles, like more arm wrestling circles instead of like casuals. I think there's a lot of hype between Devon and Michael around like the whole Juji Mufu channels and stuff like that. Maybe this time not so much, although Larry's been posting a lot, and Larry has a lot of followers. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys.